All right, what up, man? So, I'm gonna jump right in here. Back with the scent of the day. Frederic Malle the Night. Yeah, so how's everybody doing? I'm doing all right. I got some packages going out today. I got one sale, and then I got a return. Actually, I'm gonna return something, and I never return bottles. I will take a loss. I will keep a crappy bottle before I'll return one. But this one's getting returned because I think it's bad. I got a vintage M7. Vintage M7. YSL M7, and I got it from Mercari, paid a pretty penny for it, and went to spray it, and I just got nothing. I just got nothing at all. So, bummer, but thankfully Mercari has it set up pretty well so that if there is something wrong, you can return things. So it's a pretty good system they got over there, Mercari. Not a bad place to pick up a used fragrance. So that's going on. I'm wearing the Night today. The Night is from the Frederic Malle Desert Gems line. The Desert Gems line is kind of like their upper, or it's like an upper series, upper line series is a more expensive series. Most of them have real oud. Most of them are touted to have real oud, which of course is more expensive. A more expensive ingredient, and the bottles are more expensive. This is a partial. This is a very low partial I got. You can see how little I have in there. Got this from a decanter. And I got a deal on it. It wasn't too bad. So that'll be gone before you know it, but I actually have another one coming. I have another used bottle, about 70% bottle coming. I got a good deal on that. But yeah, these things retail for like $2,000 almost, $1,900 and some change. So with tax over $2,000, which is bonkers. Like, I've never paid that much. I don't really intend to pay that much. That's why I found a used one. So let's see, let's get into it. First thing I'm gonna do is spray. Spray away. Of course, they're at the very bottom of this bottle, so it's not spraying very well. But let's check it. Let's check this out. Let's see here. This is Frederic Malle the Night, a fragrance by master perfumer Dominique Ropion. Not for the uninitiated, the Night is a fragrance masterpiece with an exceptional quantity of concentrated natural oud. In the Middle East, the sunset represents the start of a new life. When the absolute emerges, the Night is an extraordinary radical work of art, the ultimate immoderate oud clothed in saffron, an ocean of Turkish rose, the ingredient rolls and scrolls of incense and sandalwood. This oud, probably the most precious on the market, is the ultimate celebration of the Night and its infinite mysteries for the most discerning of connoisseurs. Notes are, top notes rose and saffron, middle notes 100% natural oud, and base notes frankincense and sandalwood. I like the very first sentence, not for the uninitiated. Like, that is a really great way to put this. This is not for the uninitiated. This isn't for the squeamish. You got to be ready to wear something bold. And you got to be ready to smell just fecal a little bit, for just a little bit. So the oud, the oud has a funk to it. It has just like a little bit of sour funk to it, and it can come off fecal. I've heard people say animal feces, like cow or horse dung, but what I get is like a slightly sour fecal note, just for, you know, maybe a few minutes. It goes away pretty fast, and you're left with this beautiful rose oud with saffron and incense. It's super. I mean, this is a really beautiful fragrance here. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, so Dominique Ropion. Here's another Dominique Ropion, next one after the other. I had an interesting thing the other night. I had sprayed the night on my hand and forgot, you know, I'm always spraying here and there, and I forget what I spray. And a few hours later, I'm like, smelling my hand. I'm like, what did I spray here? And I said, Portrait of a Lady. I said, this smells like Portrait of a Lady. Exactly. And then I realized it wasn't Portrait of a Lady, it was the night. So there is some sort of connective tissue here between Portrait of a Lady and the night. And I think it's probably the rose. The rose that is reminding me of Portrait of a Lady. Plus they're both perfumed by Dominique Ropion, who is an absolute master. Both of these are masterpieces. I mean, this is like, forget about it. But all the Desert Gems kind of seem to have a kind of connective DNA. When I first compared them, I thought they smelled alike. And I thought, oh, the dawn kind of smells like the night, but they did this, or you know, promise is like the moon, but instead of this, they did that. You know, it's like people are comparing. I've heard a lot of people compare like this. And what I've learned is if you A/B compare them, if you smell this right next to the moon, they're different worlds. It's completely different. So it's kind of interesting. And I've seen other YouTubers compare them and say, you know, this reminds me of that. But when you A/B compare these, they are completely different. So let's read some pros and cons. Realistic and strong animalic oud note. Yep, you got a funky oud in here, a little fecal. You got to be ready for that. Far more potent than standard Western ouds. Yes, this is way better than your Western oud. I've learned that I don't think I like the westernized ouds anymore. I don't go for those anymore. Like the Tom Ford oud wood doesn't do it for me anymore. I don't love it. So that's that. Quality ingredients used. Yes, absolutely. I think they probably used the best of ingredients in this. Super high quality, beautiful oud, fantastic quality, long lasting and potent. Yes, I have tested this quite a bit. I've actually worn it a couple times from a decant. I've had multiple decants of this that I have gone through, and the longevity is excellent and somewhat heat activated. When you sweat, when you start to heat up, this stuff starts to project hard. So I've noticed that too. Let's see. Authentic representation of traditional Eastern perfumery. Well, I'm not an expert on traditional Eastern perfumery, but this smells different. I mean, it is a rose and oud, but this smells different than any other rose oud that I have. I mean, I think this is pretty unique. Desirable and addictive scent, according to some. I think it's desirable and I think it's addictive. I'm keep going back for more. Taking another whiff here and there. Smells amazing. All right. Could be considered unisex. Could be considered. I think this probably leans a little bit masculine, personally. It's very dark and very kind of complex. Not that a woman wouldn't want to wear something dark and complex. It just, I don't know, it just is coming off a little on the masculine side Just a little bit. I'd say it's unisex leaning masculine. Beautiful rose oud dry down follows animalic opening. Yeah, the opening, the animalic opening, the fecal opening lasts for just a couple minutes. And then it dries down to this beautiful rose oud saffron thing. It's really nice. Incredible longevity that survives multiple washes. I don't know about surviving multiple washes, but the longevity is good. And the projection is good. All right, here are some cons. Prohibitively expensive luxury price point. This is the most expensive, probably, perfume I've ever had. This thing retails, 100 ml retails for almost $2,000. So I'm not going to pay that much. I do have a used partial come-in that is 70% full. And I got a good deal on that, but I'm not paying retail for this. I'm getting it used. Let's see. Unsuitable for those not accustomed to strong oud scents. This is not this is not, your first time. This is not your first time trying oud. This is not a good one for that. This is for the seasoned oud enjoyer. All right. Let's see. Intense fecal opening mimics literal animal manure. Like I was saying, I don't really get animal manure per se. I get like a kind of sour fecalness. Polarizing and divisive scent, not for everyone's taste. Well, nothing is for everyone's taste, but I could see this being polarizing. It's got some funk. I could easily see a lot of people spraying this and just being like, no way. Significant markup over similar Middle Eastern oils. Yeah, like I was saying, it's super expensive. Inappropriate for public occasions, according to some. Yeah, this is probably not the best for the office, although I am wearing it today in the office, but it's a little bit on the funky side for office wear. So, just saying. Initial blast could be nauseating to untrained noses. Yeah, like I was saying, this is like Frederic Malle said, not for the uninitiated. This is not for the average Joe. This is for a niche fragrance enjoyer. All right, fam, well.
You have to judge a tree by the fruit you see.
Yeah.
People have been basing things on.
We're listening to some, well, this is my tune that I sampled Sun Ra. I sampled the voice from Sun Ra.
What it is.
Sun Ra is a jazz musician and famous for kind of like free jazz. Free jazz is jazz with no rules, no time signature, no key. To the average listener, free jazz sounds like noise. And Sun Ra would do free jazz, and he had a group called the Orchestra. The orchestra was like a 30-person orchestra, and they would just do free jazz. They would go up on stage and do free jazz, which you can imagine was insane. Insane to have 30 people playing free jazz all at the same time on the stage. It's like, and then you wonder, like, who's buying tickets to see that? I mean, I guess I would. I think a lot of jazzers would, but this is zero commercial appeal. So, needless to say, his business model, I don't think it panned out. All right, fam. I'm gonna go ahead and punch out. Y'all have a good one now, you heard? Peace.
What it is.